Alright guys, starting off the day, starting with the killer dowel pin stuff here, the front cover. So we got to undo the oil filler neck. We got the front damper off. I actually had the barring tool with a breaker bar down underneath while Andy cracked them free for me. That's why they were only hand tight. So now we can work on the bolts going all the way around the case. We'll go from there. All right, guys, so for everyone asking, this is the location for your killer dowel pin. I'll back up a little bit so you can kind of see it in reference. But this is the dowel pin that always falls out. You can see mine wasn't even actually close to falling out, but first gens, second gens, you hear about it more in second gens than you do first gens, but first gens do still have this pin, and basically what happens is it works its way out, flings against here, goes right like this, and that's where right where John's cracked right through the case too, right through here. So basically what we have here, so what I want to show you and what we're going to be doing to remedy that, this is actually a new dowel pin in case yours fell out, just to put a new one in, which is recommended you do. It does actually serve a purpose rather than just falling into your engine. So here's the Cummins part number for what they tell you to fix this with, and what they give you, if it would ever focus, is this little piece of crap tin metal junk. And I got that and I was like, heck no. So what this company, Thin Air Diesel, great guy, talk to Lance, makes is this billet piece. Now it is reversible, and second gens, I believe, is more of a flat part that you have to tab, and the first gens, which I'll show you guys, is actually this way, the stepped way. So this is a billet piece, comes with a new bolt, all ready to go, and we're going to be using this instead of that piece of crap. So when you hear people talk about a stepped case versus just a flat case, if you had a case that did not have this big indentation here, you could just use this flat part. That would sit just like that. You can see it's cut out for the bolt head as well on this side as well. This case, seeing that it's stepped, this is machined, so this would sit right down in here flush, and this will still meet up with this surface right here. So make sure you got some Loctite on this bolt that's going to be going back in there, which my bolt already has it on there, and that's what we're going to do. That's what they call tabbing the dowel pin. But super nice piece. Again, if you are in the market, these are on his website. They're really not too bad price wise, and they are just a very high quality piece. So make sure you go check them out if you are in the need for this. Also, while we're in here, like I mentioned before, we did get a brand new oil pump from Cummins. We're going to be putting that in, tabbing that pin, cleaning this front cover up even more, new front main seal, and then putting the new fluid dampener with the fleece barring tool with ARP bolts back on here to seal everything up. We are also going to start to pull the pump and get that all situated as well while we are right here. I should also mention that that has a torque spec of 18 foot-pounds for those interested. Of course, Greg never hit the record button taking the old oil pump out, but really nothing to it, just 4 13mm bolts. That's about it. Here's the new one. Yo, hey, sorry to bother you. I don't know if you're out and about, but the oil pump that I got, it does look a little different. I don't necessarily know where, I mean, it goes in, it sits further back on the crank, but I'm just not sure if it's a non-issue or an issue, basically. Alright guys, so I'm going to read off the part number, I'll put it on the screen. The Cummins part number is 4939587. It actually looked a little bit different from my old oil pump, so I got online, called my man Michael Garofalo. This is actually 89 to 02. It actually flows a higher volume than the factory 12 valves oil pump. So this is a, I guess you would call it a upgraded oil pump. which is better. I'm sure the 24 valves maybe come with it, and it's an upgrade for the 12 valve. So I'm glad we have that in here. Should work great. So new oil pump is in. We just basically got to clean some stuff up here, put the front case back on. All right, so we got the new front main seal all in there. Use this installer driver tool to basically drive that all the way down. This truck, seeing it has higher miles, does have a little bit of a groove on the crank. So I did make sure that this installer tool was gonna push this front main down either further. The original one was actually pretty close to the surface. The installer tool actually pushes it a little bit further in, which will get over that groove in the crank. So I'm very confident that that is not going to be an issue. Got everything cleaned up here on the back side. Basically, for the sake of not leaving this open overnight, I am going to basically break that nut free here and then start disassembling, but I do want to put the front cover back on here, you know, just to make sure nothing gets in there, things like that. I really don't want to leave it open overnight or, you know, all that long, just in case I can't get to that tomorrow or something like that. We're just going to basically seal it all back up. There is the oil fill hole for that, so we can still do the pump obviously without pulling the front cover. We're going to keep going on here. All right, guys, not so good news. Greg is extremely pissed at himself. As you can see, we managed to damage the new front main, which really wouldn't be a big deal. Just go get a new one tomorrow, whatever. But as you can see, we have gasket material on a nice new cleaned front cover. And that's going to add a ton of extra work trying to take that off. I got a phone call into a buddy to see if he has an extra one. We will hopefully see if he comes through. Basically, that is what this sleeve is for. When you install it, this sleeve is basically inside of this front main seal, what you are supposed to. The old battery died, so unfortunately what happened is we did damage the new front crank seal, which is not a big deal. Just go grab a new one tomorrow, except for all the gasket material that is now going to be set up and going to waste my time trying to re-clean that. So I got a call into a buddy. Maybe he has one that I can go run and grab real quick. Basically, that is what this plastic piece is for. This piece is supposed to sit inside here. You kind of get the idea, which sits just like that, right? Keeps all the edges of the seal nice and round. That is supposed to go over your front, go over the crank and slide that over nice and neatly, and then be pulled out through the front, which seals it real nice. So we must have got a little crooked going on there, and you can see we damaged that. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's kind of dark, but it's all cut up. It's no good. Greg messed up. I've put like 5 of these in with no problem, and of course mine is the one that messes up. But what are you going to do? It is what it is. So now we wait to see about a phone call, and we start cleaning the gasket maker before it completely sets up. Yay. Alrighty, so good news and bad news. We happened to just catch the sealer where it was just tacky enough just to kind of peel right off. So that's actually already cleaned again. Got the front cover all cleaned again. Bad news is we do not have another front main seal tonight. So what we're going to do, instead of whining and complaining like I really want to do, is to continue moving forward with the injection pump. We're going to try and get this baby off. I made the mistake of not getting a curved 13 millimeter to get this bottom bolt down here, which I have heard, I have not experienced, that it is a pain in the butt. So we are going to witness that firsthand here. Hopefully we go somewhat smooth. First step, I believe, is to get all the bracketry and springs off. We have to take the lines off for this procedure as well. So let's just jump right in. We already got the sensor here for the throttle disconnected. So let's just jump right in, guys. Alrighty guys, current progression, got all the injector lines off, got the fuel supply, the AFC banjo, another banjo that's behind that one. Got everything pretty much. I got 2 out of the 3 mounting bolts off, and of course the one that everybody, you know, you need a curved wrench for. That's where we're at. We do not have that curved wrench, so I can give you one idea of what we might be doing here. You can call it whatever you want. I call trying to get it done. I guess we'll see if that works. Alright guys, so the pump is good to go. We just used our little small gear puller here, popped the gear off of the shaft of the pump. Hopefully we didn't lose our little keyway there. That wrench I made did in fact work. It probably not as good as the real deal, but nevertheless it did work. Alright, so I took the gear off. I'm actually just going to grab the keyway out of this thing now so we don't lose it. Okay, got the keyway, so now we're good with that. Alright, let's see if we can't pull this pump out of here. Alrighty guys, so of course the battery died just as I was pulling out the pump. Of course, as always, that's the way it goes, but the pump is out. One of the studs actually came out of the case, so that has to get put back in. The biggest thing that I can give you guys if you are going to be doing this, I didn't actually watch any videos. It didn't take too bad, but we're losing light and I couldn't see really what the heck I was even doing. The pump bracket here, there's a 10mm bolt that you can see right here. There's one underneath it that is actually tied into like a bracket off the vacuum pump. That actually has to be loosened. I don't know if it has to come all the way out, but as you can see, it's kind of pushed back a little bit to get out of the way of the pump coming back. I don't know if this stud missing out of this side right here actually helped me or not, but in the future it might actually just come all the way off. I'm honestly not very sure. So a couple other updates. We are going to do the tappet cover gasket. I do have a new one of those. It still looks like it's buried by a whole bunch of crap here that I'm going to have to get out of the way. As you can see here, these trucks actually come equipped with a fuel heater, which you can delete. I do have the parts necessary to do that as well, so we're going to do all that while we're in here and easy to get to. But that's about it for tonight, guys. Front cover's all cleaned up, ready to go back together. We'll grab a new front main tomorrow, get that all buttoned up. I'll probably just throw the cover back over it. That way the gear doesn't fall out, nothing gets in there at all. It's nice that the truck cover kind of covers it all as well. So, but still good progress for tonight. I am pleased. So just to give you a close-up look here, this is the governor shaft, I guess, right behind here. There's an O-ring that sits right behind here. That is where the fuel leak is coming from. The entire reason why we're taking this pump off for that stupid little O-ring. But we'll get her all cleaned up. From what I've been seeing here, we need to take this cap off. There's a tamper-proof clamp around that shaft that we can get to while it's off. And also a couple other things we can do to the pump while it's off to make our lives just a little bit easier. Probably do that. I'm not going to go crazy with it. We still don't have injectors or anything in the truck, so there's no real need to go crazy with the smoke and stuff on the pump. But let me know what you guys think. Get the injector lines cleaned up. I mean, now that there's more stuff out of the way, we'll get more stuff cleaned up. I think it's actually supposed to downpour all day tomorrow, so we'll see what we can get done. Moral of this story is you could have made excuses to stop when the front main seal got messed up. You could have made excuses when you didn't have a wrench that you needed. You really just got to keep yourself motivated, keep going, just get things done. You know, you can complain all you want. It's not going to get you any further. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you tomorrow. See you.